It's almost like this blank canvas that we all got to create this city together. The city is so special. It's on a port. It's surrounded by marsh. Why is more not being done? And we all got to bring our own aspect to the city. I mean, that's why we brought the fly shop here. And it's a platform for film festivals as well. We put on IF4, F3T. We did fly tying over at the Silver Bluff Brewery in the back brewing house. I mean, there isn't anywhere I could think of that we can't park a skiff, which is amazing. That small town feel of our coast, right? It's pretty normal to see a skiff pulled up behind Southern Salt Barbecue or down in downtown Brunswick. 1/3 of the eastern seaboard's marshlands are along Georgia's coast, 100 miles of coast, from Savannah all the way down to right before you cross over to Florida. In this estuary, when you have this coastline that's just filled with life, marshland, 8 to 10 foot tide swings, constantly flushing out shrimp and bait fish. There's just so much activity every time you go out. Like when we go into spring and summer, we're getting amped up here for flood tide season. Where you're here, it's October right now, so bull reds. There are other experiences you can have seasonally. You know, tarpon migration happens in early summer, triple tail in spring, but redfish is year round.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Skiff Wanderer Podcast. I'm your host, Peter Capel. This is part of the Lost in Wandering series, Volume 2. So if you haven't checked out any of that series, please do. Some great conversations with the guys at Rivers and Glen, Savannah, as well as Charleston. Awesome fly shops you should check out. And today I am in the Golden Isles of Georgia in Brunswick at On the Fly Outfitters. Did you put that sign over there so I wouldn't mess up the name?
Yeah, because we're not on the seacoast.
It was one time. That lovely voice that you hear is Jared DiVincent, the owner, head manager.
He just makes up titles.
Guy in charge.
To fill in space.
If you guys have been following the podcast for a while, Jared is actually one of the few recurring guests. This is his second appearance. So if you want to learn more about Jared, check out the first podcast that we did, because we did a deep dive into Jared, who he is, where he's from, his life goals, ambitions, hopes, dreams.
I think we covered enough.
Outlook on life.
More than you need to know about Jared.
So if you guys are unfamiliar with the Lost and Wandering series, the point of the series is to put a light on different fisheries, fly shops, the guides and fly shop owners and managers that are in those communities, to hopefully encourage you to step out of your local area, go on an adventure, and give you some pointers and tips to get you started and out the door. So normally I start this with, where are you from and how'd you start fishing, but we already did that.
We did that in the first episode, right?
So
go check that out.
Check that out.
And then come back and 3, 2, 1.
Brunswick.
Here we are. In Georgia's Golden Isles.
Yeah. So tell me, let's start off with talking about Brunswick. Because, I grew up in South Carolina, and Brunswick was a place in Georgia. We're not gonna go into what Brunswick was 25 years ago.
It's changed quite a bit.
It is.
When I first moved here, we saw a lot of vacant spaces.
Mm-hmm.
It was the forgotten city. That's the way I felt. No one dubbed it that. That was me. I came here. What's interesting is built on the same design or plat, or I don't know what you would call a city developer, but the same plat design framework as Savannah. And everyone knows Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
This was the smaller test version before Savannah came to be, is my understanding. And so all of our little pocket parks, like we have, the micro versions of Savannah's block-long pocket parks and squares that they have spread out through the city. But then you come to all that beauty and you come in and it's just, there was vacant space here. We were 13 years ago. I think we moved here, my wife and I, from Colorado, and vacant. So it was a lot different back when you knew Brunswick,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah. No, and it's been cool. There's so many little shops. There's so many hidden gems that you've shown me in the last couple of days of hanging out here, like Schroeder's right next door to the fly shop, where if you come visit the fly shop and you want to grab a sandwich, Roland over there making sandwiches. Like, to call those sandwiches, I feel like is a discredit to what Roland's creating down there.
I agree.
And then, last night we checked out Oktoberfest in downtown, and we stopped by Silver Bluff Brewery, which has got to be one of the best breweries that I've ever stepped foot in. And I'm not a big IPA guy. I'm more of a, your lighter beers, your Pilsners, your Hefeweizens, your lagers. And I walked in there and I'm looking through the beers that they offer, and it's like, oh, I drink that. Oh, I'll drink that. Jared, if we stay here too long, I'm going to have a problem. You're definitely driving us home.
They do specialize in a lot of, the head brewer there will specialize in a lot of the traditional styles, Belgian styles, German Pilsners. It was Oktoberfest, right? So they were easy drinking beers, dangerous, right?
Yeah.
We went through a couple,
Mm-hmm.
But it was Oktoberfest. The steins were bigger.
Yeah.
And so you want the beer to go down smoother.
And they actually, one of their beers just won a major award, right?
It did. Yeah, their Pilsner, Delta River Pilsner, just won the GABF, the Great American Beer Festival, silver medal. So it's a pretty big accolade for small downtown Brunswick brewery to get, and we're very proud of them.
Yeah. And the other thing that when I came in here, when I came into Brunswick, that I noticed is Brunswick right now reminds me of Hilton Head about 13 years ago. It's a little bit of the off season right now. We're in October.
Right.
And
Bit of a
it's
transition.
Quiet little sleepy town. And I was like visiting your house, driving around St. Simon's. I was like, oh, this is what Hilton Head used to be. And it's just so gorgeous.
Just laid back, right?
Yeah. Just quiet island time. Like, I feel like Hilton Head has gotten away from island time. Is the best way I can put it.
My mom lives up that way in Bluffton, as we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember just driving from Bluffton into Hilton Head. The amount of cars I see up there now were much different than when she first moved there.
Dude, you're going to get stuck in traffic. It doesn't matter what time of year.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
It's a beautiful place, though.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's a beautiful place.
So, like, if you're listening and you like that sleepy town coastal vibe, like, Brunswick's got it. And if you like the sleepy town coastal vibe and you still want 5-star dining and amazing beers and awesome little fly shop,
We like to think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the other things that you pointed out about Brunswick and this area of Georgia is the amount of marshlands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I first moved here, my main profession's marketing, and I was brought onto a project to help shed some more light and rebrand the Golden Isles with the local Convention and Visitor Bureau. And in doing that, I really got to know, I helped out with the first visitor guide, and I got to know different aspects in more depth than most people would of this area. The ecology, the history. And one of the things I learned along the way was 1/3 of the eastern seaboard's marshlands are along Georgia's coast, 100 miles of coast, from Savannah all the way down to right before you cross over to Florida. So it's a pretty unique estuary here, and we just fell in love with it. And then we find a lot of people that come visit us here in the Golden Isles, they also fall in love with it immediately. I don't mind my commute, if you want to call it that.
Dude, it was gorgeous. It's a gorgeous commute.
Coming over from St. Simon's to downtown Brunswick, what are the views like, Pete?
We almost got into an accident because we were looking for tailing reds. There's a flood tide as we were coming over, and we were looking for tailing reds, and we had some rods rigged up in the truck, and we were like, oh man, if we see one, we're definitely pulling off the side of the highway.
It was like ready hand on the blinker.
Ready on the blinker.
There's a tail. Let's go for it. We're both thinking the same thing.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that commute in it's rough.
Right. Sorry. Sorry you had to experience it.
So the fly shop, like, what was the inspiration? Like, why? Like, what led you to wanting to open a fly shop down here?
For me, personally, my feeling towards fly shops really grew when I lived in Colorado. And we lived in a small town called Telluride, which a lot of people know from their festivals and their ski resort. And that's where I really dove in head first to fly fishing. During the spring and summer months when the snow wasn't on the mountains, we either rock climbed, bouldered, or we went fly fishing. And John Duncan has a great operation out there. I'll give a shout out to him. Telluride Anglers, Telluride Outside. And it was a bunch of his guides that I started fishing with. And that became such a community hub for me in Telluride that I missed it here. I came here and I loved 90% of everything, but there were a couple components missing. And early on, about year 2 or year 3, my wife and I, we've always itched to move to the next place. All right, what's next? What's next? We finally came here to the beach and the marshes and this beauty, and I was getting that itch again. And my wife's like, okay, why? What is missing here that you feel like we need to seek something else out? And I told her, fly shop and film festivals, because I really missed the Mountain Film Festival and all those outdoor film festivals like Real Rock and fly fishing film festivals. And she said, well, bring that here. And then don't we have the complete puzzle, like the complete picture of what we were looking for? I said, that's really smart. That makes some sense. So that was, the inspiration long ago. We have a marketing agency here we've had for 13 years, and we market, for hospitality, hotels, restaurants, and outdoor activity providers. And our office was across the street, and I was staring at what we were talking about earlier. This corner space on the main intersection in downtown Brunswick was vacant for 2 years. Isn't that insane?
Yeah. That when I walked in here today, that was one of the questions. I was like, how did you end up in this space? Like you must have just gotten lucky or known the guy that was leasing it, but there was no one here. There was no one to compete. Like, there was no, like...
That's the way it was just a little over a decade ago.
Yeah.
And so it was incredible. It was almost like this blank canvas that we all got to create this city together. And you met my buddy Chris Moline, who is one of the owners of Silver Bluff Brewery. These two ideas of the fly shop and the brewery kind of incubated at the same time, and everyone started sharing ideas of the city's so special. It's on a port. It's surrounded by marsh. Why is more not being done? And we all got to bring our own aspect to the city.
Yeah.
What are we getting feedback on?
Oh, it's fine.
Okay.
It's just...
So we got to create it, and I got to fill in the void of those previous discussions with my wife. My good friend Adam Hine and his wife Jessica, he's a professional falconer by trade, and we were at the point in our lives where we both wanted to bring a new idea to downtown Brunswick, and we combined fly fishing and falconry as a portal to get people outdoors to experience nature. And that being said, led to, once they experience it, we want them to love it. Once they love it, they want to protect it.
Yeah,
and that brings us full picture to, the nonprofit that we recently started with Chad DeBose of Tall Tide Charters, called Georgia Saltwater Anglers Association. And it was just a bunch of passionate captains and recreational anglers that wanted to protect this beautiful place, protect the fishery, and make sure that it's just an epic fishery, that there's an abundance of species to go after and pursue and target, and that there's enough fish out there for everybody. But that's why we brought the fly shop here, and it's a platform for film festivals as well. We put on IF4, the International Fly Fishing Film Festival, F3T, which is another fly fishing film tour, right in our historic theater of the Ritz Theater in downtown Brunswick. We can seat 300, and you could walk to and from the shop. We did fly tying over at the Silver Bluff Brewery in the back brewing house. Last year was Blaine Chocolate, and we get to bring in and just kind of make the downtown our campus. And any event we host, we try to incorporate as many businesses and areas of downtown Brunswick as we can.
And that's one of the things that when I get to visit these fly shops, and I'll get to talking to them, one of the things that you've done really well here, and that I kind of like when I'm talking to fly shop managers or owners, I'm like, this is one of the things that you guys need to like have focus on. And a lot of it's from seeing what you've done is the community that you've built in this fly shop.
Right.
And like fly tying nights, the events that you guys put on, they're just so cool. I mean, the last time I was here for a fly tying night and got to meet so many awesome guys and guides that live in this area. Honestly, like, even if you're listening to this, you live down in Jacksonville, like, make sure you're following On the Fly, and you see an event going on, it's just across the river. Yeah. Come up and check it out.
And we do have quite a few people do that. It's great. You talk about community, and we've been around 7 years now. It's hard to believe. And it's been our mission since the beginning. It's community focused. There's no competitors. There's no competition in this space. I don't want to think of it that way. I want to think of it as we need to have a fly shop spaced out all up and down our coastlines, and we all need the fly shops to work together. And I think we do a beautiful job of that. We've had some Georgia Saltwater Angler Association events up at Rivers and Glen in Savannah. Kyler's a great guy up there and the whole crew. And down south, we have Old City Fly Shop with Travis. And they've come to our fly tying nights. We've gone to their flying tying nights. And it's just a matter of just keep that energy in the community, help people get outside and enjoy the outdoors with fly fishing, something we're all passionate about.
Do you guys, you don't run an outfitter service in the traditional sense through the fly shop? Like, you don't book guides through the fly shop?
It's not a traditional sense of what you'd experience out west, right? Where the outfitters are kind of the core. It's their daily charters that are a big bulk of the business. For us, we want to support every captain along our coast, specifically focused on fly fishing, to stay and grow the community via the captains and our recreational anglers. We do have a number of captains. Basically, when our requests come through for charters, we delegate it out to our captains on our roster. So it's not in the traditional sense. It's just a referral.
Yeah.
But we've built these strong relationships with these captains along our coast. We know that they are the best captains. They're the best at what they do. Their customer service surpasses others. And, we know they'll take care of our customers. And it's a reciprocal relationship. And they'll send their customers back to us, and we'll outfit them and get them ready and get them prepared. We also do fly casting clinics. We do fly tying classes. So it's helpful to those captains where we could, make sure they're equipped to know the clock directions on the bow of the boat. The fish is coming from 10 o'clock. The fish is coming from 1 o'clock, 20 feet, 30 feet. So we can do the casting clinic beforehand and kind of prime that customer and get them ready to go to our captains.
Gotcha. Someone was coming down here, and they reached out to you about going on a trip. What target species should they expect to be going after?
Year-round for us is redfish, and a majority of what we do with fly fishing is inshore and near shore.
Yeah.
So there are other experiences you can have seasonally. Tarpon migration happens in early summer, triple tail in spring, but redfish is year-round. Like right now in the fall, you experienced the past couple of days, the redfish are a little bigger than they typically are year-round for the most part, because we have the bull reds off, at the inlets and along our coast. So redfish year-round is our bread and butter, fishing the golden Oz.
And then somebody was like, what if I was coming down and I didn't know what I needed? What would I need for a successful day on the water? Gear, rods, reels.
For us, we you take conditions into effect of their current week or their visit. we like to think of ourselves as the welcome center for those specifically in a niche of fly fishing. You're going to come in our shop. Priority number one is relationships and making sure you're prepared. So you're no expectation to buy anything. Just come in, make yourselves at home, make yourselves comfortable, ask us some questions, especially in our area. We're the westernmost point of the East Coast. So if you draw a straight line up north, we're under Cleveland, Ohio, to put that into perspective.
Yeah.
So that's what makes our tides the largest on the East Coast, south of the Bay of Fundy, Canada. It's pretty drastic. It's a big deal. So we encourage you to use our shop as a welcome center so we can explain the ins and outs of an 8 to 10 foot tide swing. Where are the best areas to fish now, and where are the redfish we're pursuing more active? And then we'll outfit you based on the conditions of the week. We have rain gear here for you. A lot of our clothing, if not most of it, is quick drying, sun protection. We have everything you need to get out on the water. We'll set you up with the flies that are working right now for every water column. We have rods here from G. Loomis to Orvis, Scott Fly Rods, Lamson, Sage, Reddington, and Temple Fork Outfitters, and something to cover every budget.
Yeah, and your go-to rod for this area is an 8-weight. Right?
It is, yeah, 7, 8, and 9.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on the wind, probably a 9-weight with what we were fishing this weekend.
I don't know. We were throwing a 7-weight.
We were throwing a 7-weight.
Done.
So depends on the conditions, right?
So one of the things that I found was really cool, that I thought was really cool, was you mentioned the tidal swings and how big they are here, and most of my low country fishing, which I still consider this part of the low country,
absolutely,
has been north of the Savannah River, so Hilton Head area or Charleston area, anywhere in between there. And what's really cool is y'all's approach, because of those big tide swings, is, I'm not going to say drastically different, but it's different than how the South Carolinians approach fishing the tides up there. And so I think even if you have a lot of, like, if you're listening, you have a lot of experience fishing coastal Carolina, and you want to go fish for redfish in a little bit different aspect, in a little different way, a little different approach, like, you should definitely come down here, fish these huge tides.
Yeah, for sure.
Fish with Michael Garcia.
And our other captains here too. Michael Garcia, he's been with us since the beginning. Special shout out to him. He was, a quick background on Captain Michael Garcia. When we opened this fly shop, he was first in line to receive our first T-shirt we ever handed out. I mean, he was passionate about this fly shop since day one, and he's been a part of it since day one. And it's been a wonderful. We've had a wonderful time together, seeing the fly shop from what it was 7 years ago to here. He's always helped Adam and I out as we grow the fly shop. Became our store manager and then a captain.
Yeah.
And now he's an amazing captain. He's terrific. You can't have someone arguably more passionate and more driven to lead you and guide you to redfish on the Georgia coast. It's a good time out there with Michael. He does a great job.
Oh, I had a blast fishing with him. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen the video yet, he picked us up one of the afternoons and took us out, and I don't think we stopped laughing the whole day. And even while we were struggling during the flood tide, he was out there catching them.
Yeah, he was.
Just, snaking all the
in pretty tough conditions.
Yeah. Oh, goodness, we had some conditions this past couple of days.
Yeah. But we have, every captain, their calendar's different. Right. So we have, something for everyone. When Michael's booked up and other captains are booked up, we have other captains on our roster that will take you out and provide a great experience for you on the water, help you pursue redfish and other species on our coast.
And what's a typical
great network here locally? What's
a typical day look like if I was going out with one of those captains? Like, what would a typical day look like? Like, am I getting up at, like, hey, we're going to meet at the boat ramp at 7, or is it, hey, look, high tide's at 11, so we need to be on the water by 9:30, so meet me at the boat ramp at 9?
Yeah, as you saw the past couple days, with the 8 to 10 foot tide swing, things are changing constantly. As the wind picks up, it's going to delay that tide or change that tide. So we take all those variables into account. You will know for the most part in lead time before you arrive in the Golden Isles, we're going to try to hit this tide on this morning or this afternoon or this evening. After that, our captains are in constant communication with you via text message or phone call and giving you those updates. In our fishery, not every captain launches from the same location, so it's important to know, and that's benefits you too, that based on the conditions and what you're pursuing and what the previous week did for them, they're going to say, you know what, we're going to make a game day decision, pick up, and we're driving 15 miles north to another ramp, and we're going to launch from there. And so I like that adaptability. I like that pivot, because it's guaranteeing you're going to have a great time, and we're playing the percentages. We'll make sure those percentages are the best they can be for our clients.
No, it's one of the things that I love is that kind of I like when I fish with my buddy Austin in Charleston. We do the same thing. We might fish the low in one area, and hey, like the high's been fishing better, and you pick up and you move. And one of the cool things that I think is a really cool thing is when you make those moves, like those mid-tide moves, especially, like go get lunch.
Yeah.
Stop by the brewery. There's skiff parking around back.
I mean, there isn't anywhere I could think of that we can't park a skiff, which is amazing. That small town feel of our coast, right? It's pretty normal to see a skiff pulled up behind Southern Salt Barbecue or down in downtown Brunswick. I mean, we drove around with the skiff all weekend, right?
Yeah.
And there wasn't one spot where, even when we came to Oktoberfest, you were like, I don't know if we're going to get this skiff in here.
I was like, man, I think we need to park out here. And you're like, yeah, we'll be all right. And we parked right behind the brewery.
But that makes it easier to adapt. We see a lot of skiffs on trailers bouncing around. And even midday, you might do a morning off of one boat launch, and you might pick up and launch at another location, just to get the best experience, the best conditions.
So you've got a year-round red fishery, but like, what's like prime time? Like, hey, like I want prime time Brunswick.
Like every time of year has its different bonuses and the cherry on top that you're pursuing. That's what I like about it, because year-round here, I'm even always excited every year, because it's never always the same.
Right.
Like when we go into spring and summer, we're getting amped up here for flood tide season. So we're waiting for that full moon. Everyone's looking at the full moon cycle. We're looking for those king tides and those tides that are going above a certain height they normally go, so that the fish are coming up on a hard pack flat, not that pluff mud that we get stuck in. But the hard pack flat. And you're out there, you can wet wade and pursue and stalk these redfish. It's almost like turkey hunting on a flat. And you're sight casting to these tailing reds that are waving their bright blue tails at you. I mean, that amps us up. I mean, how could that not get anyone excited? So typically your May to September is going to be prime for that. And then where you're here, it's October right now, so bull reds. Bull reds are the pursuit. We're still in that transition period where we're fishing the flats and the flood tide. We fished a couple flood tides while you were here. But low tide fishing was pretty hot.
It was, oh man. Yeah, I made everybody stop fishing a few times just to try to get some footage of redfish busting on the bank, and
it's awesome.
We saw some just epic just blow ups up and down the creek, and then almost got stuck because we were too mesmerized by it the whole time.
I blame it on the osprey. I think that kept us in that creek way too long.
We had a osprey grab a mullet behind us, like, I don't know, maybe 50 feet from the boat. And so we just sat there
insanely close,
watched that osprey, do his thing, get some dinner. I guess at that point it would be dinner.
I think you were filming me the other direction.
You watched it happen
on the bow, and I'm looking past you and your camera and seeing that osprey slam that mullet, and then seeing the mullet be so large it couldn't fly away with it. It was incredible. I'd never seen an osprey swim with its wings to the bank to
Not
drag
in person. No,
Not
I've
up
seen
front
it
like that.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen video clips on like Instagram. I've never seen that in person, and it's just one of those moments you have in the marsh where you're just like, oh.
That's what's amazing about it. No matter how many times you go out, how many days, the unexpected happens.
Mm-hmm.
And in this estuary, when you have this coastline that's just filled with life, marshland, 8 to 10 foot tide swings, constantly flushing out shrimp and bait fish. There's just so much activity every time you go out. We don't want to see dolphin, but en route to our locations, we'll see dolphin. Once they come to your fishing area, just pick up and move. But you see shorebirds, you see osprey fishing alongside of us. I mean, it's incredible.
The creeks that we were in were so packed full of shrimp that it looked like it was raining as we were moving the boat. Like our shadows off of the boat were causing these shrimp to jump, and it just looked like the whole creek was just like, it looked like we were in the middle of a torrential downpour because of so many shrimp coming up.
That was so incredible to see. And honestly, that's the first time I put together the visually while you were filming. You could see the sun was so low on the horizon, it was shooting across us, and the shadow of your body created this whole line across the entire creek. And as we were pulling down the creek, there was a wave of shrimp popping out of the water in front of your shadow.
Yeah.
So if anyone says a shadow doesn't spook fish or spook bait fish, I mean, we proved that wrong right in that video. No matter how far we pulled, we just saw this wave of shrimp popping out, getting disturbed by your shadow. It was so cool.
It was yeah.
I'm running out of this great Real Fishing Roasters coffee, and I'm getting really disappointed. We need to brew another pot.
I have some in my truck.
Sweet.
Yeah. This podcast is brought to you by Real Fishing Roasters. It kind of is. No, so to get back a little bit to seasonality. So, you mentioned we're in the transition phase, and we're getting into the redfish. You've got the bull reds coming into the estuary a little bit, and they're kind of getting into their winter pattern where they school up in these creeks, and they're waiting for that sun to hit that pluff mud and warm it up, and then they get. And that's where you were saying, like, you guys have a year-round fishery, because yesterday when we left the boat ramp and we were driving into downtown, and just the immensity of some of the flats, and you just look at them and you're like, that's got to hold redfish in the winter.
Right.
Because it's just these giant pluff mud flats, and you know that they're getting warm. And I mean, we kind of saw it even a little bit today, like, or not yet today, but the last couple of days of like, these fish are definitely, we've had some colder weather down here, and they're definitely looking for that, hey, I need to warm up.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Man, it would be so cool to come fish here in January. I've gotten into where, like, I love fishing, like everyone gets excited about hunting season. I'm like, oh, those redfishers are going to start looking for places to warm up. They're going to be schooling in January.
That takes us all through winter.
Yeah.
And then we transition again April, into flood time season.
Mm-hmm.
And April's a great time for triple tail.
Yeah.
About June into July, tarpon migrating up the coast. So, and then you're back down through the exciting cycle again, and you're just getting amped up by every transition. You're fishing for redfish year-round. You're just fishing for them at different tides and at different locations, depending on how the weather is.
Yeah. You'd mentioned earlier in the podcast GSAA and Chad DuBois, who I got to meet. It was kind of funny that you and I were on the phone talking about him, and I walked into Rivers and Glen Savannah, and he's standing right there. So the last time that you were on the podcast, we did a really deep dive into the state of Georgia redfish. I think it's been close to about a year since we had that conversation. Mm-hmm. So I guess, where are we at? Like, how are things going for you guys?
The update is, our board is working tirelessly behind the scenes for some upcoming announcements and news. To go back real quick, the past 2 years since GSAA was officially formalized as a nonprofit, we had a lot of activity at that time. DNR would put on 2 Redfish town hall discussions, 1 in Savannah, 1 in Brunswick. Then they had 2 panel discussions, public meetings that everyone could attend who were concerned about the number of redfish in our fishery and the overfishing that was happening since the pandemic. We had a 40% increase in pressure because so many people since the pandemic had moved here, worked remotely, and then in their spare time were fishing more. Like our local boat yard here was empty. I remember that in 2020 and 2021 it was empty because everyone bought boats and they're out in the water. But yet our regulations never changed. There was a survey that went out, and 75% of respondents said they are for change, a healthier change, a decrease in limits so that we can help this fishery recover. And they took it all the way to the DNR proposing their actual, based on their data, their proposed redfish regulations, and they were about to bring it to the board for a vote, and a local legislator was opposed to these changes occurring, wrote a letter, had 6 signatures on it, and essentially stopped that from happening. And then we just went into a stall. At that time, they said, listen, there's a federal stock assessment already on schedule to occur. We're going to sit back and wait until that stock assessment comes back with data, and then we'll regroup at that point. So that's where we are today. The federal stock assessment has happened. There's about to be an announcement.
Which will be out by the time this podcast comes
Which will be out by the time this podcast happens, and we're ready to receive that data about redfish. What are the results? And based on that, obviously continuing to push forward and gaining more support, getting people to support a healthy fishery. Again, these regulations haven't been changed in over 35 years. We need the slot changed to a healthier slot size. Right now, the low end of the slot's 14 inches, which is ridiculous. And most fisheries are at 18 on the bottom. So we would like to see that at 18 to 24 inches or something. The top number still, everyone has different opinions. But healthier than 14 inches. These fish are too small. They're juveniles. They need to grow. We want the population to increase, and if we don't allow those fish to grow up and escape to spawn, then we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, a 14-inch fish, that you're talking like he's still small enough where an osprey can grab him, where he can't get away from a dolphin. So like that age group of fish already has enough natural predation going on it, and now you're stacking human predation on top of that.
Exactly.
And can you I know you said it in the first podcast, but for anybody that this is the first time they're listening to this, can you restate the catch limits? Like, I know you said the size limit, but
okay, so we're at 14 to 24. Currently 5 fish per person per day is the creel limit. So every person on that boat can keep 5 redfish per day, and the captain counts towards that total for the boat. There's no cap for the vessel. There's no vessel limit.
So the captain can keep his 5 fish.
Correct, and give it to his clients essentially. So you have to think of that. So a skiff with 2 anglers and a captain, you have 15 redfish per day, and no vessel cap, right? So we have bigger boats that could potentially go out with that limit in place and have 4 anglers on it, 5, so that number increases, right? And it's just increasing the chance of the pressure on the fish and more fish being kept. You could wipe out whole schools here. We've seen small schools, 20 fish, and you have 1 boat meet up there, and that school's gone. So just having more realistic limits. Florida changed to 1 fish in the region closest to us. South Carolina and North Carolina all have much lower limits. We're at 5 fish, and again, over 30 years it's been like that with no change.
Right, and just constant increase of pressure. Right.
So all we're asking, it's common sense. It's as external influences change, as pressure increases, we should be adjusting these limits to maintain a healthy fishery. Nothing should stay constant. We just have to be aware of our surroundings.
Does Georgia have a hatchery program?
Georgia does not have a hatchery program.
Really?
But it's one of those things is, again, my personal opinion, some share it with me, but not against hatchery.
Mm-hmm.
But if we can't resolve the responsible regulations first,
right,
before the hatchery comes in.
There's no point putting a hatchery in place, and then those fish don't even, you dump 1 million redfish, and then those redfish don't even have a chance to become breed stock for the area.
Right.
They get wiped out before. No, it makes sense.
And that's my personal thought on that.
Yeah.
Not a agreed upon world, bigger GSA thought on that. But let's fix the problem first, and then let's assess.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some fisheries where hatcheries are very helpful.
And I mean, it's like, I'm obviously rooting for you guys to get the changes that you want to see, because you come to this area and it's so gorgeous. It's so pretty. I got to get my wife down here just to be like,
start looking for some homes for you. It is.
They have rocks here.
It's gorgeous. Like I said, my wife and I would kind of get the itch, 2-3 year itch, and pick up and move.
Yeah.
And then we found this place. We've been here 13 years. So that says anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a special place in the coast. It is still quiet and sleepy, which is nice. The community's small and extremely generous and caring.
You can lose your wallet at the boat ramp, and you get a phone call with, "Hey, we got your wallet."
Right? That speaks volumes right there.
Yeah.
Your wallet was literally probably out on the boat ramp for, 20 hours?
Yeah. By the time, they found it in the evening, so definitely like 20 hours of just sitting there.
And you got it back.
I got it back. Go me.
Not that we advocate losing your wallet, but that was a good test. I mean, we have a great community here, a safe community, and beautiful coastline to fish. That is still a little bit of a secret that we want more people to enjoy.
Yeah, it's that hidden gem that you want it to stay hidden, but you don't want it to stay. You don't want it to change, but you want people to come and enjoy it how it is. Yeah,
and for us, that's why Georgia Saltwater Anglers Association is a part of our business.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're doing a top secret collaboration with you that will be out by the time this launches.
Yeah.
So, we're creating a custom coffee with real fishing roasters, and portions of that sale of the coffee will go towards GSAA, so we can continue to educate those visitors to our area. We want you to visit. We want you to experience this fishery, this little secret between Savannah and Jacksonville, Florida. But we want you to do it responsibly, and we want you to understand how we maintain a healthy fishery.
Yeah. And I mean, like, if you're driving on 95 and you just want a glimpse of this fishery, like 95 goes through, like, I'd say pretty much the heart of this fishery, and you can see it. And so the number of time, like, I've spent so much time driving 95 past this place and just being like, man, this place has got to be such a good place to fish. And I'm so glad that we've made this relationship, and that I've gotten to spend a lot of time down here, because it's been on my list for a long time before. And to now get to do a couple trips into this area, like, I highly, highly would tell anybody to come down here and check it out. If somebody wants to visit the fly shop, where's it at?
So the fly shop is in the historic port city of Brunswick, Georgia. We're right between, if you're traveling I-95 north or south, we're between exits 29 and 38. So you can take exit 29, 36, or 38, and they'll all come into the Golden Isles of Georgia. The destination has a website, goldenisles.com. You can see a bunch of accommodations there, other businesses, and help plan your trip. And like I said, On the Fly Outfitters has always been, since day one, about community first. So we consider ourselves a welcome center to the Golden Isles for anyone interested in fly fishing. Call our shop. Visit our website, ontheflyoutfitters.co, not .com, ontheflyoutfitters.co, and you'll have information on there, our contact information. You could purchase gear to get outfitted and ready, and then call the shop to book a charter with one of our captains and go see this coastline firsthand.
Yeah,
you won't be disappointed.
And with the 95 thing, like if you're driving up or down 95, like it's 10 minutes.
10 minutes off. It actually makes a jug handle or a mug handle, a coffee mug handle. If you get off northbound 29, you can pull right down Main Street, stop at the fly shop, stop at Schroeder's Market to eat some really great food that Pete was talking about. Silver Bluff Brewery's here as well, 1 block away. A number of other amazing restaurants right in downtown. And then you could continue north and go back on exit 36 and continue on your way. It couldn't be more convenient.
It's a great little pit stop.
You could do the same thing southbound, exit 36 to 29. So couldn't make it easier. Come see us. Stop by the shop. The only day we're closed is Sunday. And if there's a major flood tide, we do close the shop so that all of us can get out there on the water. So do give us a call first, but we'd love to see you.
Instagram,
OTF Outfitters is on Instagram. On the Fly Outfitters for Facebook. And again, all of those are on our website, ontheflyoutfitters.co.
So there you go, folks. If you're listening, swing by, tell them I sent you. You'll get a cup of coffee.
A cup of coffee for sure.
If you haven't already, check out the video that we put together. It shows the inside of the fly shop, shows a lot of this amazing fishery, some of the beautiful fish that they have here. That's on YouTube. If you're on YouTube and you're watching it, hit like, hit subscribe, share it with your friends, share it with everyone. And if you're listening on Spotify, Apple, whatever you use for podcasts,
you're there.
We're there.
Yep, exactly.
And if we're not there, let me know. No, that's confusing because you wouldn't have heard this unless you were. Anyways, 5-star review, and then again, share it. And if you don't like this content, share it with your enemies. Let them know that you don't like this and you don't like them, and it's a perfect mix.
I just want to say, can I say a little plug for you?
What?
He's so nervous when I say this. All right, if you just completed this episode and you've listened this far, check the previous episode, Rivers and Glen in Savannah. Check them out. Check the next episode. Click on that. You're going to be down at Old City Fly Shop with Travis Luther, a good friend of ours. You can't go wrong. And stop at all these fly shops up and down the coast. Subscribe to Skiff Wanderer. If you're not subscribed right now, not to pressure you, but you've liked the video, you've listened to it till the end, just click subscribe. If it's down or up, I don't know where it is on this screen, click that button. Do yourself a favor so that you know when he launches the next episode. Continue to follow along on Pete as he wanders and fly fishes. I think it's a terrific series, and thank you for having us be a part of it.
Yeah. No, I love wandering around.
I noticed. All right. Don't leave your wallet at any of the future locations, though, okay?
Don't tell me how to live my life.